Right, so let's get started. Let's double check my audio first. 1, 2, 1, 2. Am I dropping any frames? Right. So audio is good. It's been a bit choppy. I seem to be dropping frames a little bit, but I suppose shit happens sometimes. Bed's been made. Flies up for a change. Let's get started. I'm hungover as fuck, but I'm gonna try and make it last as long as possible. Just gonna start off with the same stuff I did yesterday, following the videos, one by one, look at them in detail, see what needs to be done, see how they're done, then do them, practice them, get better at them. Early on, I'm going to be fairly good at them just because I already know half the moves, but later on we'll be getting to some shit that I don't have a clue. But I think first I should just go through all the shit that we learned yesterday, with the exception of the drop, because I don't want to start chucking shit around on a Saturday night while everyone's trying to enjoy their nights off. Just double check my frames, because last thing we wanted to be doing is dropping frames on this, because you could have been missing half the stuff, given how fast it goes. So I'm just going to go through all the things we learnt yesterday. I'm going to do it with my right hand, because I'm not going to do them all twice. So, the cradle, that's very simple. There's change grips, so out the speed rail, catch, reverse Martin's grip, all the way around, change grip, into a paw. You do pretty much the same thing here, but with another reverse grip. And there are other ones where, instead of passing it from one hand, come around, it's straight into a paw once again. Same again, but with a roll. There's the behind the back catch, from behind the back catch, and you can mix those up if you do a transition in the middle. Very easy stuff so far. Do a fencer's flourish, into a behind the back, then around, into a nice spin and catch. I think that's about it really for yesterday. It seems very short when you do it all together like this, but bar flair is meant to be quick, done very fast. And each step that you're learning is going to take 10 to 20 minutes just to even get an understanding on every move. And it literally lasts not even a second. But once you start putting them together, you can get your sequences going. So, without further ado, let's go find out some, well, I already know these moves, but new moves for the stream. Now the bounce cut I can't really show on stream very well, because I don't have anything with liquid in it. But, as you can see here, let's enlarge that a little bit. That's certainly what full screen. Google Chrome give me the win here. There we go. Oh, this is full screen if I fucking Google Chrome's fucking me. Anyways, bounce cut. If you already saw it, it's pretty simple to understand. It's literally a bounce and the liquid cut. He's doing it with a little flourish with the Boston's in, where he just flips it over as an example of the time frame and what you can do in between it. You can also use a bounce cut to, if you're pouring multiple shots, for instance, that instead of doing a LAN, you can bounce between them. It's very simple, looks nice. It doesn't look too impressive, to be honest, but it adds a little bit of flair that you can use. I've just realised, though, that the capture device for the screen, Windows capture, is in fact not capturing Google Chrome right now. There we go, that's better. So it's showing the combinations that you can do with the moves that we learned earlier. Now once you get into the position and you want to use a bounce cut, you can do what he's about to show you and give it a flip. I mean, I can show it, but I have literally no liquid to do it with. It's literally just a bounce, flip, and catch. And like I say, you can do it with multiple shots if you're just doing one shot at a time. Well, that's all there is really to it. Now, the stream today, I don't know how long it's going to last because I'm hungover as shit right now. Went to a student party, which I haven't been a student for like a year now, and I honestly shouldn't be going to them because I can't be asked for them anymore. But there's free alcohol and free music, so you can't complain too much. Oh, thank you. I usually hate my accent. That's one of the things at the party, because I have a very northern accent, and where I live is very southern. So if I'm at a house party like I was last night, it stands out like a sore thumb. Plus, when you're doing shit like this all day, that also stands out. Flat behind the back. I've already shown a bit of this move earlier, but it's very simple. Literally, you want to keep it flat the entire time so you don't spill anything. A nice catch. Shit with my left hand, but that's exactly why I'm doing the stream, is to improve the shit I'm not too good at. Biggest point with this that I think he's explaining about now is it's the throw more than the catch that's important. You can keep your hand in the same spot, and if you're throwing it perfectly, the moment it makes contact with your hand, it's just going to make your hand will grip stuff. You'll notice it naturally with, if you're playing catch or something like that, doing baseball or whatever, if the ball hits your hand grabs. It's a very normal human reaction. But it's very useful in flair because you don't have to worry about catching too much. You can just focus on your throwing and your accuracy. Oh, I almost dropped that one. But if you ever want to try this stuff, get yourself one of these bottles, because I said it in last stream, but they're almost indestructible, and you can get it for like 12 quid. You can get them for cheaper if you are willing to wait for delivery times, but if you want it on Prime, it's a little more expensive. Showing it from the back here, you'll notice that his hand just stays exactly still, and catches immediately. He was just focused on the throw and keeping it flat so he didn't spill anything. You can do flips and shit with it, but you're going to lose your alcohol. And if you're an exhibition flairist, that's perfectly fine, but if you're working in a bar like I do, your manager's going to lose your shit if you're spilling alcohol everywhere. So what's that, lesson 12, that's fine 13. as useful as this guy is for learning stuff, he did not make any decent playlists, so you gotta fucking search about for him. There we go. Flat from behind the back is pretty much the same concept, just in reverse. So being flat to behind the back, flat from is just around from the back to the front. Show it from behind. This one you do have to focus on the catch a little bit more. I realise I'm doing it with the same hand and throwing. This is technically a different move because you can, when you're starting, you should definitely use your left hand. But I feel it's more impressive if you catch it with the same hand you threw it with. Then of course, if you mix it all together, you got yourself a nice combination. Should say also, if you want to try this stuff, give yourself lots of space. Don't do it near equipment like I am. That's fucking daft what I'm doing. It's going to cost me hundreds when I inevitably launch a bottle on my TV. Or my computer, or whatever fucking window. But once you start to get more confident, then close your space down, because if you're going to be doing it on a bar, you're not going to have that much space. And if you are doing it on a bar, don't do it near people. Because there's been so many close calls where I've almost knocked out a co-worker. There was one time I actually knocked out myself. When I say knocked out, I don't mean straight up knocked out, but I threw a bomb and trying to do a shadow pass, which is basically, it's one of the hardest things to do really, because you can't look at the bottle because you've got to keep your head straight forward as you're passing it behind your head. But I literally just threw a bottle at my own head, and it wasn't one of these things, it was an actual glass bottle. I had to go to the medic room because I was bleeding out my eyes. It was a nightmare. Anyways, he's basically reiterating what I've said. You want to keep it, you want to focus on your throw again. If when you start, just start throwing and just catch. But this big circle that he's showing you there, that's very important for not spilling shit. You want to get your centre of beetle force to focus your liquid right at the bottom of the bottle, otherwise it's just going to spray everywhere. Which is another point really, because you shouldn't really do flair with anything more than about this much, because you're going to start spilling more often because the centre of balance is just off. This is an important point I missed actually. You want to keep your finger like this, nice and straight, so when you lift off you can kind of give it a little push, and that's what keeps it straight and flat. Otherwise you get spins, and I've been doing it so long, muscle memory is so ingrained, it's actually difficult for me to get a spin out of it. Oh. Another thing with the work on it is getting his audio to come through, but at the moment, for whatever reason, Chrome hates me and just robot voices him up. But I think I've explained everything he's going to explain. He's just repeating. I honestly don't know how he gets these videos to be 5 minutes long. I mean, I've been streaming 10 minutes and I could definitely fly through these moves faster. But if I did that, I'd be on episode 100 by fucking next week. I'll say that, when we get to about 50, 40-ish, I'm going to start struggling a lot more. Because that's about the level I'm at. So now listen 13, let's look for 14. Honestly, the fact he doesn't bang these in a playlist infuriates me, but I don't think he's going to be doing it anytime soon, given this was done 7 years ago. Honestly, he does not make these easy to fucking find. Then again, it's a very niche thing, so I don't imagine. Well, to be fair, 60,000 people is not too bad for bar flair. In the end of the day, it's only bar staff that are looking to learn this sort of stuff. I mean, if you're not bar staff and you want to learn this stuff, it's good for hand-eye coordination. I have like a whole set of problems with like my hands and shit and hand-eye coordination, but this shit really helped. Didn't realise it to a lot later age though. Probably teachers should have noticed the fact I couldn't even hold a pen when I was a fucking kid. Wait. That's lesson 2 from 13. You see what I mean when he's just not ordered these correctly? Makes this stream a lot more rigid than as fluent as I'd like it to be. Then again, we're not exactly ever going to get fluent with this stream because I'm such an awkward human being as it is. There we go, 14. Which is annoying because I think this is something I've already just shown. Yeah, it's just an extension of the other move. But instead of catching and throwing from behind with the same one, you're throwing behind and catching. Well, you should be, I'm not. There we go. This one's actually quite a hard one, it's quite easy to injure yourself with it. It's easy to get a spin on it as well by accident. But it's the same concept again, you want to keep it the same orientation the entire way. And give it enough force to go over your shoulder, unlike that time where I just threw it over there. Also, if you are learning this stuff, get used to dropping it, because it's going to happen. Especially in front of people on the bar. And if they laugh, that's not a problem, just laugh with them. Mistakes happen. Especially with shit like this. I very easily get distracted and just start doing sequences rather than showing the move. But there's not much to explain on this one other than you want to use the body of the bottle, use the shoulders, you're going to get a bit of... Well, you won't get too much spin, but you'll get a decent amount. And this, if you do it by the neck, the centre of balance is just going to be off. There's not much to it really, there's just a lot of trial and error on this one. You just got to do it over and over and over until your body can do it. Which obviously, I still can't. I honestly should throw the duvet on the floor for the people who live underneath me, because this will be a nightmare for them. It's also very much of a case of getting used to moving very quickly that way. Don't know how we describe that laterally. I don't know. X-axis. Because your body won't be used to doing that. It's going to be a lot of back muscles stretching your front muscles. That's another point I don't mention too often is stretch when you try new things, because you might be doing movements that you just rarely ever do with your body. I mean, outside of a bar where you're going to see someone throwing something behind them and catching it. So this is the first combo that he shows you. It's literally just a move of the last two. And the important thing here is, if you've learned the previous moves, it's just the transition between them. Because if you just do the one move, then pass it over, it's just going to look boring. But if you caught it with this hand, you want to give it a big swing, catch it in the middle, and then come around. Once again, there's not much to this combo, it's literally just the moves we've learnt before, applying a small transition, and that's about it. If you're first starting this stuff though, transitions are going to feel weird because you are just passing a bottle from one end, you're literally just, and then moving on. But from an odd, a third person's perspective, that doesn't look as boring as it feels in the first person. Like, first person is very slow, very stilted, but it looks much more fluent third person. Honestly, I am hanging, this light is killing me. So, on to lesson 16, the stall. This is very important, the stall. I showed this on the first Get Good stream. But I'll go through it again simply because... Actually, I'm going to skip to the flip stall because it's the same thing, just slightly different variant. So the stall is literally just pick it up, catch it on the back of your hand. Looks nice. You just need to get used to having it on the back of your hand. Then the flip stall is from a stall to another stall, which is... It looks really nice. It's a really good like intermission sort of thing, letting people's brains catch up to what you've just done. Like, you could do it like that. Or I'm much less confident like this one, but yeah. Ah, bugger. I ain't done this one for a long time, to be fair. There we go. Ugh. I'm having much more trouble than I used to with this. Then again, after I broke my hand, I didn't do this shit for about 6 months. Not 6 months, 6 weeks. So as good as muscle memory is, you can lose it eventually. There we are. So that's the way you back around that one. You gotta do that when you're learning it, do it in intervals, because otherwise you should have a bruised backhand. Especially if you're doing like stuff with your forearm as well, because the stall's in the back of your forearm. You just get bruises all up and down. Right, what's next? It's very simple. You're showing it there, yeah. I think what you're showing there specifically also is don't try and catch on the back of your hand straight away. Because like I say, you're going to get bruises all over. Try and get your rotation, your spin correct. You'll see it eventually when you get to it. When you first start, it's going to be a bit iffy. But you'll be able to dial it down, find your sweet spot. It's all about getting your feet wet, getting used to it. Oh. So, first combo with stall. Oh yeah, I struggle with this. Even to this day, I struggle with this. Ugh. Now, it's the first combo again. Unless you're stupid, just launch at your own face like I did. But you want to land the from behind the back into a stall. But you want to get your rotation this time. A few occasions that you want it. But if you get too much rotation, tips that way, not enough, tips this way. So all about finding the sweet spot again. Which I still don't have down. It's honestly a once in a blue moon thing for me. Ugh. Could have done it that time as well, just threw it too far. I won't get too trapped on this, because I've got a bad habit of if I want to do something, I'll try it a million times until I actually fucking do it. I hate this move. There we go. Such a pain in the ass. Because stalling from a position that you're used to catching in the same position you launch from is surprisingly difficult. One of the things I like about these videos is he throws some difficult stuff in early on occasionally, like the catch behind the head, which I'm going to fuck up immediately, I can tell you already. I actually did it with a bit of stumble, but I did it. Oh, Christ. No, I went and dropped it without actually doing any tricks. Oh. I hate this move, but I love it at the same time because it looks so good when you do it. There we go. And you can do stuff with like ice up to about here with it. You can actually make cocktails with that and not spill a drop. Obviously, with the difficulty of the move, though, don't do it until you can do it 99 times out of 100. But it does look good. It's also very risky because if you mess it up, you could launch it at a customer. That's the last thing you want. I mean, if you don't get fired, there's definitely going to be some sort of lawsuit there. I got very depressing very fast. What are we on? 18, so we're going up to 19 next. We're going for half an hour. Which, well, I deleted the stream, so you probably won't ever find it. The first stream, when I was just doing moves and moves and moves and slowly incorporating more, it was just me getting tired and more tired and more tired for half an hour straight, and I wasn't enjoying it at first, but then I tried this format for one day. It was alright. Then, just give it a couple more goes, and I think I've got the timing, the pace I like, to where I can actually sit down and talk about the move, explain it, do it, show off a little bit, and then just move on, step, slowly climbing up. Although, I will say the pace at the moment is still quite fast, just simply because for the first 40-50 lessons I know most of these. And I learn a lot of moves off this guy. I didn't follow him step for step, I just chose the ones I liked, to be honest. And there was a lot of other similar channels that I learned stuff on. Anyways, we're on the first combo with a stall. Fucking hell, he is... The order of these videos is just so backwards. Tin behind the back? I'm not even going to load that up, I'll just show you it. Is... Well, this advert's playing. It's the same as the bottle behind the back. Literally the same, nothing different, just a throat and a catch. And you can do the same combos with it. Even for an arm roll if you want. It's hard to do an arm roll with this one because you don't get enough grip. There we go. Also, I tend to make a face when it comes at me because it's fucking terrifying. Pardon me. Tin spin. If I remember correctly, this one's very self-explanatory. It's literally a spin. This one's harder than you'd think it is. Because you're spinning on the palm of your hand, but it's very easy just to try and throw it. And if you get height on it, you start to lose a bit of control. Like that. Oh. Just very simple move, but it's got a little bit of nuance to it. So when you throw it, you want to kind of push your hand forward more, so you can kind of catch it and it bounces on your hand, and you can put a bit more control into it. You want to bring your thumb all the way back, because if you do that, I caught it there. Your thumb might just get in the way. It's a very simple move that I still haven't got dialed down myself yet, really. And YouTube's loaded up to lesson 21, so I might as well just get straight into that one. I've just shown you this one, but I'll do it again. I probably just want to sat down, to be fair with you. Yeah. You can do it all the way to your shoulder as well. Ow, and your chin, apparently. I think he'll show in a second, but you can actually catch it like this as well, which has some uses, but it's not particularly practical. It's another stall, really. It's just, you don't land it here while you're doing something else with your left hand, so focus on your left hand while your right hand's doing fuck all. It's a bit like magic in a way, in the fact that you have to keep them focused on something if you're doing something less skillful with your right hand. Which is why it's also very important to be ambidextrous in this stuff. I think what we're saying is the centre of balance on these things tends to be out here rather than the middle. So you want to grab it about here when you're doing it. And the flick is important as well because it gives you the momentum, the centripetal momentum even. Don't know if that's the right phrasing, but it gives you the rotation to get it to roll on your arm. You can do it at about that speed. If you do it a bit too quick, you might launch it over there, or the speed might be so uncontrollable it starts to wobble. Or it might go to the point where it hits your face, hits you in the chin like it did with me earlier. And I did watch a guy cut his fucking face open with one of these when he did this. That sounds way more gruesome than it actually was. It was like a little scratch, but it happens. Let's move on to lesson 22. I might go a little longer than I do usually. Simply because now I've started moving, my blood's pumping, the fucking hangover's leaving me, so I might as well go a little further. Can't remember what fucking lesson I was on. That's product reviews, and that's not even the shit I'm looking for. So we just did the arm roll. Arm rolls generally also just look impressive. People like to watch them. Why are they so out of order? Honestly, it fucks my head every single time. So we're looking for 22, that's 23. Swipe through is a very nice move. 22 is just a thumb roll. It's the same as a spin, but instead of using your palm, you just wrap it around your thumb, or you launch it on the floor. Like I say, I'm hungover, so do forgive me on these ones, because my brain is just not at 100%. But fucking hell. I was doing these last night as well. It's a good way to distract the fact that you can't dance for shit, so you just do this and people go, oh yeah, he's actually doing something, not just being a wallflower. But then again, I get pissed enough anyways to try and dance, and then it's a fucking nightmare after that. I've lost 23 already. Uh, 23. Where are you? There we go. The swipe through. So the swipe through is just Take your left hand. Gotta get a bit more spin on it. Like this. And then the next lesson, which I'm already going to get straight into, is very similar, but this is where you first start to have to split your brain into two things, because you're doing two very separate things. But it looks very good, and with this you can just repeat it as well. I bet you get more fluent it looks. With it I should more doing that movement than I am, because it's more of a circle that you're doing rather than just pop up. But pop-ups are very easy bad habit to get into because it's simply easier. You don't usually drop that move. Yeah, with this you just in, out. If you do this you can get underneath it and, well, over it then underneath it I should say. Ugh. Then, like I said, the circle one is literally the same thing, just making it a lot more complicated. This one takes a long while to get your brain around, but once you've got it, you've got it. It's just a little bit of juggling really, but even then I won't consider it juggling, because I can do that perfectly fine, but I cannot juggle for shit. I could probably get one cycle in if I'm really dedicated to it for one day. One day when I have to learn to juggle bottles, I'll finally learn how to juggle. Yeah, just in case you didn't know, the reason I want to do this stream is so when all this virus shit's over, I can start working in the bar again. I'll have even more skills than I did last time, and even the skills that I did have, they'll be more fluent, be more professional. I'll do it without dropping it as much. Especially because I work in VIP a lot as well, so I don't want to be dropping it while in VIP. Especially when they pay so fucking... Honestly, you won't believe the amount of money they pay. I can sell bottles of vodka for about 100 quid a pop. And I'm not talking like Ciroc, I can sell that for even more. I'm talking like Smirnoff, I can sell for about 90 quid. You could pick it up in a shop for 20 quid. Honestly, it's insane the price people will pay. Then again though, if you're getting premium vodkas, if you're getting Belvedere's and Gurk, weird combo, but yeah. It is cheaper just to get the full fucking bottle. Now, for whatever reason, it's popped us back to episode 5. Where am I? Later on when I start working much more regularly, I want to start doing cocktails and actual, like, real recipes and not just with a flair bottle. Although that is risky because I could end up getting pissed every fucking stream I do. I'd say it's bad for my health, but at this point, my body's falling apart anyway, so... It's amazing how fast I go from clear to grumbly. Honestly, where the fuck was I? It makes it so much harder when you don't know where any of the videos are. Just did the circle swipe through, so I should be on 25. Don't know where the fuck 25 is, that's 26. I don't think that's even worth like mentioning. Normal bartenders that don't even do bar flair can do that just naturally. 25, 25. I guess we're not doing 25 then. Honestly, these videos are just so odd. There's 25. Oh great, a 30-second advert. Oh no, Chrome's just fucking with me again. Oh no, once again Chrome's fucking with me. So this one I do a lot because it looks very nice and it's very simple. It's another extension of the last couple of moves. And I'm going to end it with this one because it's a nice combo to end it with. But it's a circle swipe through, change of grip around the head. I almost messed that up because I got fucking hat on. Along the shoulder, you can either do it like this, or you can, taking the hat off again, you could take it around, put it straight into the tin, go all the way down, grab the tin, give it a spin, but just for the full thing again. Just do a few different variations of it. That was a bad one because I fucked it up immediately. Honestly, the hat just gets in the way. And the roll. Then the one he's showing. Honestly, the hat is just doing my head. I think for the last couple of minutes, I'm just going to do all the stuff that I can as an example of what my level is at there. Did that in the wrong order immediately. Honestly, I'm falling apart. Oh. Try to sequence again right from there. There we go. With a lot of these, you can just do some repeats, and then mess it up right at the end there. But like I say, you can do some repeats and then go in for the rolls. Don't always have to, once you've learned Boston tin moves, don't get addicted to using the tin all the time. Because you don't need to all the time. You could start with a stall, come round, start off with some basic moves, go all the way around, get straight into a ball. You got to remember there's lots of moves you can do with just the ball. You don't have to use a Boston tin. But with a Boston tin, it often looks significantly more impressive. My hair is all over the place. Let's bang that out on and try and hide the mess that it is right now. And I think I'm going to call it there. Like 45 minutes is a nice length for this. I realise streams go on for hours and hours and ends usually, but I simply don't have the energy to do this hours and hours and end. When I'm at work and stuff, I've got drinks, food to keep me going, but at the same time, I'm not doing moves every 2 seconds. I'm doing it once every 20 customers. Because if you did it every single customer, you'd be fucking knackered, man. Honestly, you'd be falling apart at the end of the shift, especially during the summer. It's awful during the summer. Keeps you warm during the winter though, I'll give it that. But in the winter, if your hands are getting a bit like stiff, it does get a little more difficult. But instead of watching this advert, let's just pause it on this. Explain when I'm going to be streaming again. Fucking Chrome hates me today, honestly. Anyways, I'm going to stream again on Tuesday. Same stuff, about 9 o'clock-ish. About half an hour to 45 minutes of this stuff. I know these videos are very short, but in the end of the day, I can't keep it up for several hours on end. But I am going to be doing gaming stuff as well. I mean, after all, that's what Twitch was intended for. Just for a bit of variation as well. Me flipping balls around days on end is just going to get boring after a bit. So, I might be streaming tonight gaming wise, but I honestly don't know what me and the boys are doing yet. But you are welcome to come back and watch me then. But for now, I will see you later.